Great. Thanks a lot for the introduction. I think we are running quite late, so I rather start right away. These are some results of a project I did during the last 4 years almost. It's about late Jurassic vertebrates, actually from a marine deposit, but we concentrated on the washed-in terrestrial vertebrates during that thing. The site is actually the Langenberg Quarry, right in the middle of Germany, on the northern rim of the Harz Mountains here. And this is a huge quarry. It's active since 120 years. They are quarrying limestone and marls for fertilizer these days. And you see all the layers are almost vertical, they are over tilted. And this is because of the uplift of the Harz Mountains here in the southern part. This is looking north here. And there are 3 big levels here. Each of these walls is 20 to 30 meters in height. All these deposits are marine. The Langenberg Quarry was geographically right in the shallow marine basin, in the lower Saxony basin back then. And the terrestrial vertebrates actually probably come from a small to medium-sized island in the south of which we have no evidence so far. What have we found in terrestrial vertebrates? There's a paramarcellid lizard, just one specimen. We have a couple of teeth, but just one disarticulated skull, which is quite nicely and is still to be being described. We have atoposaurid crocodiliforms. They are small-sized crocodilians from the late Jurassic and Cretaceous. And we have several nice specimens, including complete skulls, and the description of these is a new taxon, new genus, is currently almost impressed with this one. We also have pterosaurs. That's a nice the nicest specimen. It's a 3D preserved skeleton, despite the delicate bones in these limestones. All the bones are still virtually in their original shape, which is quite nice. And this is also currently being redescribed, originally described as a Chungaricterid, but it's probably something else. We also have quite a few pterosaur teeth and also isolated bones. The most famous, you probably have heard of it, of the terrestrial vertebrates in this quarry, in this deposit, is Europasaurus. It's a sauropod dinosaur, which is closely related to Brachiosaurus or Giraffe titan here in Berlin. This is Europasaurus here, the small one. And this is actually the adult size, so it's not a juvenile, it's a fully grown individual, which Martin Sander and colleagues found out with bone histology. And this comes from a specific layer where we have found in the meantime evidence for 21 individuals out of different ontogenetic stages. And also we have 2 morphotypes among the adult specimens. So there's one with almost half the size here, and the large one with a total length of 6 to 8 meters. Besides these sauropods, we have also theropods, just isolated teeth. This study came out just 2 days ago, and was one where we actually studied quite a massive undertaking. 80 teeth known from the late Jurassic of Lower Saxony in northern Germany, and we used statistical methods to determine their origin in the clade-wise, and we had allosaurids, basal tyrannosaurids, megalosaurids, and also ceratosaurs for sure, and there's also kind of vague evidence for agalisaurids, for instance. Another evidence from the quarry, from the Langenberg Quarry, are dinosaur tracks. These tracks occur in the layer about 6 meters above the Europasaurus. And these are quite large tracks. And this is, for us, one of the reasons why this must be definitely the end of Europasaurus, because if you have these large theropods with a body length of about 8 meters, then it's probably was quite fatal for small-sized sauropods as well. The stratigraphy in the quarry, it's all Cambrian, early late Cambrian to be exact, and you see here where all the other fossils come from. There are two main beds, 56 is rich in terrestrial remains and 83 is in this bed. That's where all the pterosaurs, the toposaurids come from, Europasaurus comes from. The dinosaur tracks are on top here, and there are also some quite nice plant remains. And we started an excavation there in 2012. This is our former excavation pit. It's a nice swimming pool now, it's still active. This is a picture just from 2 months ago, where we had another excavation. This is the bed 83. This is where the Europasaurus comes from. Down here was a very large cluster of these bones. And we were hoping that these bones actually continue in the ground. But unfortunately there was nothing except a few turtle and crocodilian remains, so nothing from terrestrial vertebrates in there. But we got lucky because we found, actually on this level up here, this is the second level, you can see this black part here, the black layer. And this is quite interesting, because here again, this is the Europasaurus layer, that 83. Yeah, and there's a fault here, and it continues here. Yeah, and then it changes here. It's heritage, and this is this very wide layer. This is actually what the bone layer of Europasaurus looked like back in 20 years ago when most of the material was found. And on top of that, you see this black layer here. And this is quite unique because it's not documented in the geological profile. It just occurs there. And if I go to the next one, I tried to rotate it back. So this is the normal deposition line, and you see it has such a lens-like shape. And this layer is particularly interesting because it contains a lot of terrestrial microfossils, including mammal teeth. And these are the first mammal teeth from Germany. How to sample such a layer, right? This wall is 29 meters in height, and we had to come up with some quite inventive sampling strategies. What we used was actually one of these truck-mounted cranes here with a steel pot on top of it. Actually, we can start it because it's a short time-lapse movie of how it works. Oh no. Okay, it doesn't want to. Oh, no, it goes. Okay, so what we did actually using large tarps here, so everything we cannot get with the bucket up here is stored, is collected on the tarps. And we did this for 3-4 hours to sample the whole thing. And we came up with about, here we go, yeah, with about 3 metric tons of sediment, which we started to screen wash actually during that year. We had a teaching excavation running there from the University of Bonn, where the students were very eager to help, and we did a lot of that material, but not all of it. The first mammal was discovered in 2014, and since then we sampled relatively small amounts of sediment, so in total I think about 400 kilos. And I just wanted to show you quickly what we found so far. Interestingly, despite it is a marine layer, which usually all these layers contain a lot of fish teeth, it's quite normal in a marine deposit, but this layer contains more crocodilian teeth than fish teeth. And if I zoom in a bit, you see that you have different morphotypes. You have the typical Steniosaurus, a marine crocodiliform teeth, but you also have quite a lot of these lancet-shaped ones which come from Atoposaurids, so the terrestrial crocodilians. But the really interesting part for us are these mammals. What's happening? Oh, okay, it works. Anyhow, so we have a total of about 30 different mammal teeth in the meantime, and I just want to introduce you to a few of them. The first of all, this one has been just described a few weeks ago by Thomas Martin Julia Schulz, Achim Schwermann, and myself. This is Teutonodon langenbergensis, so new genus, new taxon. It's multituberculate, beautiful tooth with both roots. Yeah, and you have these two cuspals, yeah, this is something new. So the size of that, yeah, maybe the size is important as well later on. This is 2 millimeters, so it's a relatively large tooth, but it's not extraordinarily large. Within these 30 mammal teeth we found so far, multituberculates are by far dominating. So it's probably more than 20 or so we have. We have a lot of upper molars, and we have also lower molars. And the interesting thing is the one down here, this is a micro-CT scan of a cast of a poor albion batar from the Gimarota coal mine in Portugal, which is contemporaneous in age. And you see that it's almost identical. So this is probably also poor albion batar, this taxon we have at the Langenberg. And we have premolars with a typical leaf-shaped appearance here. And we have also other clades of mammals. We have docodons, unfortunately just these 3 fragments so far, which cannot tell much about their phylogenetic position, but at least we have them documented. And we have one nice Eutrichinodontid, which is also quite unique because it is relatively small. You see the size here, so the total is again about 2 millimeters. But it has a cingulum on the lingual side and on the labial side. And these cusps here, the middle cusp is only slightly higher. It's broken now anyhow, but it was only slightly higher than the other ones. And this is a derived character of Trichonodontia, Trichonodontidae. And this fits stratigraphically quite well. But the cingulum, on the other hand, on both sides, this is just described from Gobigonodontidae, and they are from the lower Cretaceous, also known from Europe, like Spinolestes from Las Hoyas in Spain. But this combination of both, so the even sized cusps and this cingulum on both sides, this is new. So this is also probably a completely new genus and taxon. And we have Dryolestids from the quarry. They probably all belong to the same taxon. The upper molars have quite a few similarities with Amplotherium from England and the Morrison Formation. And we also have a similar sized lower molar, just one here. And it has a different shape, so it's probably not the same taxon, but it looks also, it also has similarities with another taxon from the Gimarota coal mine in Portugal, from Capesoterium. So if we quickly look at the lineages of Mesozoic mammals, we see that we have actually all the lineages represented which we could expect. We have docodons, we have the Eutrichonodons, we have multituberculates, and we have the stem Capesoterium and the Dryolestids. And the only thing which is missing is Australopithecus, but this is the lower part of this planet, so and then the southern part. And I don't think we can have high expectations to get these specimens. What is interesting, so despite this large number, we have no sign of island gigantism in these. It's just an example here, the Tenerife giant rat. Mammals, we have heard this quite a few times in the last talks. Small mammals tend to grow if they don't have any predators, but we don't have any sign for that. What does it mean? That's still unclear, I guess. I'm not sure that we should jump to the fast conclusion to say Europasaurus was a very small-sized sauropod, but it's not an island dwarf. This is, I think we need more research, especially on these terrestrial microvertebrates we have. And this is it. Thank you very much.